was in a secret unit in the IDF.
Yeah.
And I told mom, listen, you cannot talk to people in Syria. Yes, he is afraid to put his face on the camera because he's afraid for his life. I'm not afraid. And now they want to take him. He doesn't know what to do. Please help me save him.
What do you do?
How can he do
This guy has war stories.
Oof.
What the?
I've been exposing myself from the beginning, trying to warn you guys, trying to warn the West, trying to educate people to better understand what is it. ISIS is trying to kill them.
They need a rescue.
Nusra is trying to kill them.
Nusra.
The government of Syria is trying to kill them. I want to set things straight. I am not against immigration. I think immigration is a beautiful and important thing in every society. But there is a difference between immigration and invasion. And when you come to Muslim immigration, the line is very blurry. And it's who is a real immigrant, asylum seeker, and who is an invader who want to come and take down that country, want to take advantage of democracy and bring it down from within. All right, a bit of a background. The next video is a podcast that I was invited to by the Dugri guys in Israel, where I'm sharing with them the story of the time where my mom, in the early morning one day, just came and told me that I have relatives in Syria, and that their life is at danger because ISIS want to kill them, the government want to kill them, and Nusra want to kill them. Basically, everybody want to kill them. And she asked me if I can help rescue them out of Syria. I was in a secret unit in the IDF, and I told mom, listen, you cannot talk to people in Syria. If they find out that I'm in the service, they can kill the family there, or I don't know, stop it. She stopped. I finished my service. I was fed up with, not fed up. I was done. I did my part. I wanted to travel the world. Yeah. My mom calls me and says, listen, I started talking to them. They need your help. ISIS is trying to kill them.
They need a rescue.
Fuck.
Nusra is trying to kill them.
Nusra.
The government of Syria is trying to kill them. Your cousin.
The civil war? Like we're speaking about the war.
The war in Syria.
Like a few years ago.
Yeah. Your cousin, who's your age, who you saw when you were a kid. 250 men from his village were taken by the military and they got killed. And now they want to take him. He doesn't know what to do. Please help me save him.
What do you do?
How can he do
This guy has war stories.
Oof.
What the fuck?
My mom is more than me even. But anyway, so I contact him. I tell him immediately, listen, go print right now 5 documents, copies of everything you have, birth ID, certificates, diplomas, I don't know what, laminate it, keep one with your mother, hide one in the house, give one to the neighbor, keep 2 on you.
Oh, shit.
Go to Germany. Like many other people that are running, do that trail through Turkey, etc., and I walk him through the path. But when you get to Germany, I told him, you go immediately and you give yourself to the police. You come to them with these documents, you tell them, hello, my name is, I'm not going to say his name.
Inigo Montoya.
My name is Inigo Montoya. Kaiser Soze. And you come and tell them, I am an illegal immigrant. I am fleeing from my country. I'm seeking asylum. Hand yourself in. He did it. On the way there, he told me that he was in a boat that maybe 70% of it were actually terrorists, not from Syria. He said like very, very people that are dark in their soul, that were from Iraq, Afghanistan, I don't know what, burned their passports, said if anyone say a word, we kill him. Yeah, they just wanted to infiltrate Europe.
And they are all there now.
He gets to Europe.
And they all got asylum in your countries.
He goes to the police. He goes to the police in Germany and they tell him like, leave us alone. What do you want from us? And he tells them, I want to hand myself in. Yeah. They give him money and they tell him, go to the next town, take a train, hand yourself there.
Wow.
Then he said F them and he just entered the country. So he entered the country like this. Like imagine all the other bad guys.
Shit.
They were so fed up with so many people coming to their town. They said, fuck off and give that trouble to somebody else.
Zero border control.
When you take care of problems and shove it out down the carpet, under the carpet.
It was insane. It was insane.
Exactly.
And then I flew to Germany and I met with both of them. And one of them was kidnapped by ISIS and he fought and he ran away. And I met with them in a hotel in Germany for the first time.
Wow.
And I meet them at night. I bought the hotel room for all 3 of us and I said, I'm going to meet them. They look like me, man.
Wow.
He looks like my brother, like
Ashkar.
literally.
Wow.
And I'm sitting, Ashkar, and my family is Ashkar.
Ashkar,
Ashkar. I was standing there and he's Ashkar. And I was like, wow, he's a Syrian, like he's an enemy country. And we're sitting there, it's like, wow.
And you're an IDF.
And then we did a
Like we look the same.
We did a video call, all of our moms.
Wow.
Crazy.
Wow.
Sitting there, and we're sitting the 3.
Wow.
And wow.
Touching, dude. Touching.
Amazing.
It's amazing.
Amazing. Now, the reason that I wanted to share this video with you is just to bring to your attention the disturbing reality of how easy it became for radical jihadists to infiltrate Germany, to infiltrate Europe. I'm living in Germany right now and I care about this country, and I can tell you right now that these radical jihadists are living among you. They're walking in your streets, and it's not just my opinion. It's not some kind of conspiracy theory. You have live witnesses from the Middle East, Arab like myself and my cousin, who are coming and telling you that. My cousin, while he was on the journey to come to Germany, shared with me that on the boat fleeing from Turkey all the way to Europe, he was one of the only real immigrants, real asylum seekers. All the rest, that's what he called them. He said they were dark in their soul. They were very evil people who burned their passports and were trying to come into Germany to infiltrate. So it's not an immigration anymore, it's an invasion into your country. Don't let anyone trick you or anyone fool you. All these politicians who are trying to hush it down, keep it low. This is a serious issue. And you can feel it right now and see it in the streets of Germany. You have stabbings, you have terrorist attacks, you have people wanting to run over people. You have Taylor Swift concert being cancelled in Europe because they wanted to blow it up with chemical weapon and I don't know what. These are literally the enemies of the West. Not only the enemies of Israel, but the enemy of Germany, of Europe, of America, the enemies of the West who are set to take down and destroy the West, and they are entering your country. And why is that? Because your politicians have decided to either be ignorant and ignore the fact and all the warnings that are out there, or maliciously wanting them to come into Europe, into America. And I don't know exactly why. Is it for getting some more votes, or who knows? Maybe they really don't like the Western civilization. They want to take it down. Bottom line, it's happening and it's real. Now I want to set things straight. I am not against immigration. I think immigration is a beautiful and important thing in every society. Heck, one of the most beautiful and beneficial immigrations that came to Israel was the Russian immigration. When the Russians came to Israel, they brought with them culture, they brought with them knowledge, wisdom, intelligence, they brought with them technology, they brought with them so many work ethics, they brought with them so many beautiful things to that country. America was built on migrants who went and started a new life and started what we see today as the greatest country in the world. But there is a difference between immigration and invasion. And when you come to Muslim immigration, the line is very blurry and it's very, very hard to discern who is a real immigrant, asylum seeker, and who is an invader who want to come and take down that country, want to take advantage of democracy and bring it down from within. And that is what's happening right now in your countries. Now, if you don't want to believe me, if you don't want to believe a real Arab from the Middle East who are coming and telling you that, believe my cousin. So yes, he is afraid to put his face on the camera because he's afraid for his life. I'm not afraid. I've been exposing myself from the beginning, trying to warn you guys, trying to warn the West, trying to educate people to better understand what does it mean the Middle East, the Arab culture, Islam, and etc. The Arab culture on its beauty and on the ugly side that I have. In every culture I have the beauty and the ugly part. When my cousin entered Europe, he came as we call it illegal immigrant. He came and he tried to hand himself in and say, I'm an illegal immigrant, I'm an asylum seeker, help me, because he was an asylum seeker. Now, not only that they ignored him and sent them all over, when he was in the refugee camp, and that's what he told me, he shared with me that when it was still fresh, he had to flee the refugee camp because jihadists in that camp have tried to murder him and his wife. One day he was walking in the camp when a few other shababs came, grabbed him, pinned to the wall, and put a knife to his neck. And they were upset with him. They asked him, where were you last night when we had this protest demanding that Germany allow us to enforce Sharia law in these camps, to bring Sharia law into Germany, and they wanted to go and do a whole protest against the German government. My cousin came and told them, guys, I ran away from Sharia. I don't want to bring Sharia here. I'm sorry, I'm not coming to these demonstrations. They put him to the wall, they put a knife to his neck and told him, if one more time you don't come with us, you're either with us or you're against us, and you'll be gone. And he said, they have already killed and murdered people in these camps, only the police was ignoring it and letting it go. There was so much sexual crime, so much violence and murders happening there, that it was just being pushed and hushed from the mainstream media. I know it because I was hearing it firsthand. So what he did, and is I think the true face of what does it mean to be a healthy migrant in your country. He left that camp and he went and he lived in a German town. He learned the language, him and his wife. By the way, the wife is a whole new story. My mother helped rescue that wife and bring her as well so they can reunite. Well, that's a crazy story. If you think my story was crazy, my mom's story was even more crazy. But that's maybe a story for another time. But long story short, they moved and they rented a house in a German town. They learned the language, they learned the culture, they got a job. Both of them have a really good job right now. They identify today as Germans who came from Syria. They see this as their new home, and they came and said, this is your culture. We're going to respect it. We're going to learn it. We're going to adapt to it. We're going to learn your language, learn your ways. We're not going to try to change you. We're going to change ourselves if needed to come and fit. So it's going to be a perfect fit in your society, your culture, because we are thankful that you're giving us a new home. So these my relatives, that's what they did, and I call that a healthy immigration. But the problem is, for every one of these, there's like 1,000 that didn't do that. That instead of coming and assimilating in your culture, they're creating their own hubs of Sharia laws in your towns, in your cities. And the main danger, I would say, that for every average German family or European family that is bringing maybe 1 to 2 kids per family, 2, at most, they're bringing 5, 6, 7 kids. What do you think is going to happen in the next election 20 years from now? Who's going to be the majority? How will Germany look like? How will your Sunday mornings when you go to the market to get some brötchen from the bakery, what do you think is going to happen then when all the streets are going to be filled with these shababs that believe in Sharia law and think that it is the right thing to convert your country to Islam? Because they are radicals. Many of them. So again, I'm not against immigration. I think immigration is a beautiful thing, but it needs to be done in a controlled manner. And Europe have dropped the ball on that, either deliberately or by ignorance. But you know what? It's very hard for me to believe that people in the level of Merkel and others who reach where they reach because they're supposed to be smart, intelligent people with some kind of life experience. So they knew what's happening. So they either chose to be ignorant, or some of them maybe even believe that this is the right way to take down Europe. I don't know. But long story short, you need to be crazy to not head for the warnings that are being told you by so many people from Saudi Arabia, from Israel, from Jordan, from Lebanon. People were warning Europe. Guys, you don't know what you're messing with. And Europe was so cocky to come and tell us, you guys are racist. You guys have no idea what you're talking about. We know what we're doing. We're going to change them. They're going to come here and they're going to assimilate to our society and change completely. And we're going to help them because that's what good people do. So the intention might have been good, but the execution was terrible, ignorant, and I would say even dangerous, and perhaps even evil. There's probably a bit of each. The long story short, not only that my relative have managed to move to Germany and completely assimilate, and they have right now 2 beautiful children, and they're really living the German life. There was another cousin of mine, the same age, that was kidnapped by ISIS in a car in the middle of the night. He jumped out of the car, rolled in the street. They jumped after him. They stabbed him. They tried to shoot him. It was a crazy story. He fought them off and managed to run away. The guy was a beast, was a savage, very intelligent person, and he fled into Germany as well. But that's another crazy story for another time maybe. So my point is, again here, wake up. Wake up and smell the hummus. Understand that there's really wrong things happening right now. And if you really care about your society, if you really care about your culture, you need to take some actions. There's no way. The easy out was 20 years ago, was 15 years ago, was 10 years ago. That was the easy way out, when they would have put probably the right barriers and filter, the right system to really filter between good immigration and invasion. Now it's a little bit late. And I'm not going to give you the solutions here because I think that's up for them, for the German government, German people to realize what is the right solution. But it's not going to be easy. And most likely it's going to be dirty. So if you enjoyed today's episode, feel free to go and check out my Patreon. That's a very direct way to support my work so I can keep doing these videos that I'm doing for you. But as well, don't hesitate to click the like, subscribe, share, leave a comment at the end of this video. If you want to hear more about the stories of how my cousins had to flee Syria, how I helped rescue them, the whole journey of fleeing ISIS and the government of Nusra and going all the way into Germany, and the whole aspect of between the whole immigration topic about entering Europe, just leave a comment and I'll make another video about it more in depth. But in general, I try to answer all the comments that are being left on my YouTube, so feel free to leave ideas, or if you think that I said something that is not completely correct, by all means, please correct me. I always try to listen to the people that are watching these videos, and I highly appreciate your input. But until then, don't do anything stupid. In general, just don't do anything that I would do. Stay safe. See you next time. Now, regarding these guys, the podcast guys, Dugri, let's talk Dugri. If you haven't heard of them, in my eyes, they're the best podcast in Islam. hands down. And they deserve way more attention than they've been receiving. So if you haven't checked them, go check them out. And this is just a snippet from one of the many conversations and topics that we covered in that podcast.